How's it going, guys? Chris back here again with some more historic Brawl. Or regular Brawl, or whatever it is. I forgot. Today, I'm gonna tap into something else real quick. 2 days ago, on the, what day is it? 25th. Some interesting information came out about historic Brawl matchmaking. In that cards, it's been suspected for a while, but certain cards have more weight attached to them than other cards. So this one of the Reddit users, CHLARPC, compiled a list of the weights of all of the cards on Arena, and there were 3 commanders that don't count for anything. They have a weight of 0. Elspeth Undaunted Hero is one of those commanders. You might be noticing I'm running a lot of basic planes. That's because they have 0 weight. So this deck is, according to the MGGA MMR matchmaking, a 0-weighted deck. And the theory is, crap. I really need to switch over to the other one. Here we go. Now I won't bring up pop-ups. We're not gonna win. That's just where I'm at right now. I've not really tested this much, but no. Miz. Reborn Supreme. Okay, so we're up against Movement of the Supreme, who is a 9-weighted commander. What does weight mean? We don't know, but it means that, in theory, your 9s should be closer to your 0s than your, what's the highest? I think it was like Golos at like 1,400 some. But, who knows? I can't win, by the way. I have so few creatures in my deck that every one of them is necessary. So today's video is just really to talk about this weird weighting situation in the MMR, because some of it makes sense, right? Like Golos being high up makes sense. Elspeth, I don't know. I've been looking at the spreadsheet and I realized that this is main deck, so maybe Elspeth as a commander, yeah, we're dead, is weighted a little bit higher, but you can't queue. Yeah, it's a weird situation because sometimes it says that you can't queue if your deck is too weak, but in theory this deck is 0. So like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird game design backlog situation. It's just kind of interesting. Like in theory, we're running, based off the information we have, one of the weakest commanders possible. We have cards that do not add to our weight in any way, and we're still not doing great. but we're able to play, which is nice. So it actually takes a insanely long time to actually uh find a match. We're up against Jace Reawakened. Let's look up a Jace. Do I keep this? No, I do not. Hey, one of our 0 cards. Keep. Show of Valor provides no value to your deck. Apparently. Could be true. I don't know. It's certainly a card that I had to craft, so I can't say I'm a big fan of Show of Valor, but it's just a weird situation that I wanted to make a video talking about, and I ended up burning a Mythic Wildcard on. So, what can you do? Resolve? Can't do anything about that. My deck is mostly lands. So some of the weird stuff I've noticed while looking through the weighted numbers is that Fabled Passage, completely kosher, it's a 0. Terramorphic Expanse is also a 0. Ouch. Action. Terramorphic Expanse, also a 0. Exploring Wild, a functional reprint of Terramorphic Expanse. I think Terramorphic came first. Did it? I don't know. It's weighted 9. Or 6? One of the two? So, like, it's not playable in this deck. Because our restriction is that only cards that have a main deck weight of 0 can be in the deck. And, 6, which is weird. Prismatic Vista. A power creep version of Fabled Passage, which is already better than Terramorphic and Exploring Wilds, is also 0. So, the strongest version is okay. The second strongest version is okay. One of the 2 versions of the third strongest is not a 0. And it looks to me like a systematic thing that happened as new sets were added. Because you have a few sets here and there that have a lot of, or a relatively high amount of 0 costed cards. And then you have other sets that just have their basic lands as the 0 cost from that set. And a lot of the lands that just add mana, like your shock lands, your fetch lands, like that stuff, is 0. I think we can see that this has been fun, Jace, but I don't know, man. So there's a lot of weird stuff about all of this, and I'm sitting here trying to make heads or tails of it because it's a fun bit of weirdness to it all. Like, with decks that we've played, there are like there are some decks where it feels like we choose a good commander and get matched up against Atraxa 4 times. And maybe that's why. Maybe it's because good Commander X and Atraxa have closer MMR or weighted numbers than like Good Commander X and a reality chip or a Niv Mizzet the Supreme, right? Like, we're seeing commanders that we don't normally see. And I'm wondering if that means that my deck template that run things like the One Ring and what is that thing called? A Siege Mastodon. One of the first few. Is it? I think this is a reprint because the first cards I owned were like from M13, and I think there was a Siege Mastodon in it, but I don't know rightly if it is Siege Mastodon or if it's a card that looked like Siege Mastodon. But I lost my train of thought there. It might just be that certain commanders come out of the gate with the crippling debilitation of being ranked high enough by the system to the point where they go straight to the Goloses. This is cool. Reality Chip's doing reality chip things. I'm gonna do this. I really want to get this. I kind of want these two. And I only get to choose one of those, so I think I wanted to get to 4, but I can't. It's sad. I know. Do check. I looked through the list a couple of times. Lotus Field, perfectly fine card. Has a weight of 0. Doesn't add to your total. There are no wrath at 0, by the way. So if our opponent plays more than 3 creatures, we're dead, basically. Like, that's the breaks, unfortunately. I guess this is kind of a wrath if our opponent decides to put everything on 4. Is unrealistic, frankly. We've been beaten by a narwhal. It's kind of sad, but it's a weird situation. And like, I'm trying to come to my thoughts on it because with a better understanding of how the matchmaking system actually works, it would be easier in theory to make decks that function better, although that's a bit too big brain for me to actually make work right, because then it'd be like it'd feel too scummy metagamey. On the one, that is, I'm dead, bro. Just let me die. Like, you can do that now, right? You can build a low deck. Then again, like, from what I've seen, the ratings are kind of liberal in their approach. Like, I was thinking if lands are, because when I initially looked at it and realized that the concept was possible, I thought to myself, that with creature lands, it wouldn't be as bad as it currently is, but most creature lands are just, they are just weighted at a 3 or higher, basically. And there were only 3 commanders that I could find that were on the client, or that I could find on the client, that were actually available to use. Because some of them, there are a couple of other commanders in the list that are rated 0 for, I suppose, for in-deck contribution to your actual deck's weight. And the one that I was really, like, initially gave me the idea that it was possible with Borborgamos Enraged. Because if most of the lands are rated 0, like, you can discard to Borborgamos and mulligan. Mulligan. The nice thing about this deck that I've just realized is that you can mulligan, like, all you want. Like, you're always gonna find it. The chances of me getting a land next turn are so astronomically high that there's just no reason not to mulligan until you find yourself a Phyrexian Pegasus. Look at us being a real deck. One of the weirdest things that I saw pop up in the discussion of this, like, MMR situation was that the highest non-commander weighted card is a Zenith Flare. I got the name wrong, but it's the cycling payoff, right? Like, you cycle a bunch of cards and you pay the 4 mana, 1 white, 1 red, to deal damage equal to the number of cards with cycling in your graveyard. One. It would suck to have to destroy one of my own few creatures, but we'll do what we have to do. Yeah, so there are some weird choices, like the Discover lands. The Discover lands are 0, and Discover is
now I must step out of the shadows.
Pretty good. Draw your card, opponent. Be an actual match. The whack a Jace.
You won't break my resolve.
This is the most permanence I've ever seen on the battlefield for this game. Or for this deck. Not in GTA. I've seen more permanence on the battlefield than that. But so whoever weighted these cards, there are some odd choices, but overall, I think the weighting has at least accurately depicted the lower end of the curve. I will block, opponent. Commander is kind of the only thing I can do. Oh my god, we are running hot. Look at that. I cannot believe it.
I'll endure what I must.
Although we've probably lost, now that I look at loot trigger, like, we've probably still lost. Yeah, these cards are bad. Some of the lands aren't bad, but, like, great. I don't know, I was looking at it and I thought, Steers had probably not weighted. Yep, weighted. Like, there are, any utility land that actually has a good use to it is weighted, so I wonder if partially the weighting is affected by play. Right? Because that's the information that Wizards would have, or, I mean, the game development company that behind MTGA, right? Like, they would have the numbers of how many copies of Phyrexian Pegasus are played in Brawl within a given period of time, right? And they might base the weight off of that. Like, they might have a spreadsheet somewhere, is a compilation of Brawl data being added after one another, and okay. How have we not found an answer upon it? We have to have an answer.
No, I cannot falter here.
I don't know if I have another. I have one more. I have one more. I have one more. Yeah, look at that. I knew that was in the deck. It didn't work out. Unfortunate. I didn't mean for this video to go so long. I just been spitting the breeze, unfortunately. So we'll end it after Loot finally kills us somehow. Come on, Loot. You can do it. I know you can. Conduit of Worlds. And a flag. I remember when you came out, and I was very confused at why there would be more than 2 players in the game. Devotion 6 is pretty good. Like, if we can -8, we're good there. What are we doing, opponent? Just kill me. I will add 3. Add 2 count, or a counter. Do my thing. Or is our opponent just enjoying going off? Fair enough, I suppose. They have a couple of 3-drop. We will block with our Pegasus if we get the chance. Sure, I don't think it does anything. Yes, it does, yeah. If you have multiple land drops, it does. GG. Well, if you enjoyed today's bit of an odd one, remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.